So we're back here in Island Park. It's lumber delivery day, as you can see behind me. Forklift's dropping off a whole bunch of lumber. We are moving along quite quickly on this project, faster than expected. We've had some great weather last week. Let me take you inside, show you what's going on, show you some of the tricks we've been doing. Big changes down here. We've removed the drywall ceiling. We've removed the entire roof system, the old trusses, and we've put our new floor system in. Now, this is all an engineered floor system. This was all planned out last year, and so everything was planned to accommodate this. The only thing we were unsure about was the size of the existing beams because we couldn't exactly open them up. We've demoed last week. We found out they're sufficient. We're in great shape. So we've installed this new floor system, all engineered for us. You can see we had to put one row of midspan blocking. We're not quite finished that yet, but it's just to help prevent the joists from racking from side to side. That's why we put that blocking in. It's quite a lot of bounce in the floor if you don't. So that's what that is. But other than that, everything worked out. The measurements were great. One of the things we had to consider too was these windows were on a non-load bearing wall before, but now it is a load bearing wall because the floor joists come on top of here and then the force comes down. So the way we've solved that, rather than putting a header just above the window like you would typically see, is there's actually some LVLs just above the window. They're a little bit tough to see there, but we've put the LVLs in the floor system. Again, all thought out ahead of time, all engineered, ready to go. This isn't something we just kind of make up as we go. And this allows the point loads to be sent down through the existing floor system and having it distributed as well. So we don't have direct point loads on the foundation, so we don't have to do any extra work inside these walls. At this point, all we have to do is run our electrical plumbing in the floor system above, and we're ready for drywall. We can finish this, and that's all the work we're doing down here, so we'll be able to put this all back right away. Let me take you upstairs, show you a little bit more about what we're doing. So we're upstairs, just above where we're standing. The deck is down. We're gonna start framing our exterior walls, but just to give you an idea of what's happened, this was an entire peaked roof like this. This has all been removed. This is what's left of the valley that kicked the water and snow out this way. But you can see the existing condition of the house. Everything from the peak above me, this way is gone. We're gonna be removing all of that, temporarily supporting it. We're gonna put a beam all the way across, and our new floor joists continue at that level all the way across the edge of the wall over here. This will all be new space. So we have the primary bedroom here, primary bath is just behind you. This is gonna be the new primary closet in this area once the roof is up. And then there's two bedrooms on the other side. That one has a double closet itself. And then there's a bathroom that's in the same position as the old one over here. So just to give you an idea of how everything kind of fits together. Ultimately, we just need to get the walls stood up, and then taking this down and putting the beam in place is gonna wait for better weather. We have a couple of rain days this week, so we're gonna be putting it on hold for that. But let me take you inside, show you some of the existing structure, some of the challenges we're facing too. So, few unusual things that are problems, but luckily we're removing them all so they won't be. We do have quite a bit of mold and water damage up here. It's all gone, not a big deal. The existing chimney kind of just bleeds through the existing house. There was no insulation behind this wall, so you could imagine the brick on the outside freezes in the winter and just wicks all the cold right through with no barrier whatsoever. So obviously it was freezing cold in here. The existing structure, so at some point, the whole back part was an addition that was added onto. The way they did the existing structure was just obviously not sufficient. We were rattling studs as we were taking the drywall off, so we had some structural drywall, unfortunately. But like I said, everything's coming off, not a big deal. The main issue we have to deal with now is just getting the steel beam in and picking up the existing structure load. Everything else is designed to hang off of that beam, so it's gonna be pretty straightforward. But all these existing 2x4s all the way along here all need to sit on the beam. We use a special Simpson hanger to do that. So we'll pick up all these loads all the way across and should be sufficient for the future. Now, one of the other kind of interesting, unique things, we found in some spots the drywall had been drywalled over about 3 times. So we actually had about 2 1/8 inches of drywall on the walls, which is obviously unusual. We're gonna be dealing with that by just removing it all, putting it all back fresh, and taking it down to where we have access, where we can take it to a spot where we can get a nice clean joint, so that we're not trying to build out constantly on these things. The existing dormers all had insulation on the floor, but no insulation on the ceiling, so they were just bleeding cold as well. We're taking all of that apart. We're gonna be spray foaming everything. So everything on the second floor is gonna be spray foamed with at least 3 inches. Most of this place is 5, and on the ceiling is 6. So we're gonna have a good airtight second floor, and it'll just be able to trap the heat a lot better. And we'll deal with that coming up in the next few weeks. So let me take you over here too. So we did find some insulation in the walls. This is the paper backing that's left over from it. The boys haven't quite gotten to this. And then over here, you can see that there's almost 2 inches of drywall there. There's just a little bit left that we gotta pull off. They had backed it with some cardboard for whatever reason, and then there's insulation on the other side. Again, just kind of stood up. It's a bit of polyiso. Really not sufficient for what we're trying to do here. So we'll be taking all this out. Like I said before, this is the far wall of the closet, and so the closet will be on the other side. This room will then be vertical all the way up to the new roof over here, so you'll gain a lot of living space. I'm 6'3", so it's a little bit tough for me to stand on these sides. We're just gonna square up the whole house, and ultimately we're gonna be putting a TPO roof up there, so it'll be a nice low slope application. Should be great for that. And that about does it for this one. We're gonna be knocking out the framing the next couple of weeks, get the roof on, windows in. Once we're dried in, this job's pretty straightforward. Just a couple bathrooms and a few bedrooms to do. So until then, see you next time.